Hello, welcome to my channel, Happenings with Delicious Lola. How are you guys doing? I hope you're doing fine. Today I'll be talking about my experience with Okada Riders here in Abuja and the level of insecurity, injustice in this country. I feel very sorry for the parents and guardians of the Bethel School in Kaduna. I pray God Almighty bring back your word safely. And also, just was it yesterday or day before yesterday, about 17 people, you know, were kidnapped again inside Kaduna. Like, this whole thing is becoming too much. About 17 people were kidnapped, and I was so worried, especially when I heard the area that the kidnapping happened. So I called my friends, my family who stay around Saburia, and they said they were safe. I'm happy, but at the same time, I'm still not happy because some people, those people who were taken, rather, they have their families too, and I pray and wish that they come back home safely. So let me go take you guys back to last week Thursday. I think it was on the 1st of July. I was going out of my street and driving out. I made sure I looked at my right and my left before I came out of my street, just to make sure that there was no car that was coming. I don't know, from nowhere, I accelerated, and lo and behold, I just bumped into this bike guy in my front. And all the bike men just that were following through that road just stopped. The next thing, they started hitting the car and they were like, I should calm down, this one, that one. So I wind down, I was like, I'm going to calm down. I spoke Hausa, I was like, I dole sai na sauka amma ku dan bani hanya in yi parki. So I was like, okay, fine. I am going to stop, but please, I need you people to give me space so that I can park. When they heard that, the other bike guy that said the whole hitting of the car thing was just calm, as if they poured him. I poured him cold water. So fast forward to, I went to look at the guy and I told him, why would you do this to me this morning? He was like, they were like, ah, madam, just take him to the hospital, this one, that one. So I put him in the car, about to start going to the hospital. Before I knew it, a policeman from nowhere just came in from nowhere, and they started shouting, we'll have to go to the station, this one, that one is not the hospital. And the next thing, he entered the front seat. The Hausa boys, the Okada riders, were like, ah, no, this one, she's going to take him to the hospital. So he used pepper spray to spray on them, and I think that thing even almost caused the riot. I was just praying in my mind that, please God, just secure me. This one, that's this whole thing is turning out to be like this. We got to the station, they told the guy to come out. He said his leg was broken. I mean, this guy just only had a very small wound, a very small wound on his leg. He said his leg is broken. I just kept quiet and I was trying to keep my cool, because already I've heard certain stories about these Okada riders in Lugbe, but I've always prayed that I don't encounter such. But you know how life is sometimes. You can't do the planning yourself. You can't save yourself. It is only God who saves. So they said I'll take him to the hospital from the police station. I told the inspector I could not drive, so the inspector drove, and then there was one other sergeant with us. The bike guy and one other guy was behind. When I got to the hospital, I had over 50 Okada men with me and all that. I just kept my cool. I didn't even call anybody except for my very, very best friend that I called, and then told him what was going on. While I was at the hospital, the sergeants made the whole thing even more worse, because I don't know where they came up with they would take him to Castina, his leg was broken and all that. At some point, I was just so angry, but at the same time, I was trying to just keep my cool. So I just want to cut the long story short, because it's a very, very long story. And then the the sergeant came and met me, that they said they are taking him to Castina, that they said they will need to transport him 30,000 naira. Ah, that was where I shouted. I'm like, I have a place I was going to this morning. I didn't plan for all of this. Like, I didn't plan to start taking someone to the hospital or police station. Please, I can't afford it. So we just, to cut the long story short, we just spoke. We agreed on 20,000 naira. I told them I was expecting someone to send me the money. Meanwhile, it was a lie. I just didn't want them to know that I have money to spend on rubbish. So I went to the POS, withdrew 35,000 naira. I gave them 20,000 naira. I paid the hospital bill, and then we left for the station because the inspector that brought me to the hospital took the car back to the station. So I went to the station and got there. They started making the whole thing, like started dragging issues and everything. I had to tell the sergeant. I told him, I said, see, is it because I'm keeping quiet? I know my rights, but I just choose to keep quiet, but I'm not stupid. He said, that it was my fault. And I'm like, have you even heard from both parties? Do you know what even happened? They just brought me to the station and then that is just it. So already I knew that they just want to use me to, like, enjoy their day that day. So to cut the long story short again, I ended up giving them 8,000 naira. While I was going out, the sergeant took his phone, the one that stayed with me at the hospital, not the inspector, took his phone, did as if he was snapping the car, and then now told me that, until we'll need to print out pictures, and per one copy is 250. He'll be printing out 2 copies, that's 500. And then I looked at him, I'm like, Oga, do you know, have you asked me all this while the work I do? I'm a professional photographer. So why would you tell me that a copy of picture is 250 naira for just 5x7 picture? He said that again, and he knows that I've caught him. But at that point, I was just so angry that I just wanted to leave that environment. So I just gave him the 500 naira. So in total, I think that I spent the whole of that 35,000 naira that I withdrew, after which I went to the car wash, washed the car and all that, took the car back home. I couldn't go to anywhere I was going to. When I got home, told my mom the story. She was so angry. I didn't call any policeman. I didn't call this one. I didn't call anybody. That why did I just told her that, please, I beg, let's just be grateful that I am okay, I am fine, and nothing happened to me. Before this my own case, before I had my own fair share, I had a friend who gave Okada Riders 50,000 naira on the spot because he almost stabbed him. And I've heard of, there's this man who used to be my church member. Okada Riders stabbed him. They stabbed him multiple times, yes, because he hit an Okada rider. They stabbed him multiple times to death. He just got married and had a child. So this police, is obvious that they know about all these activities, but they are not saying anything. So far as they make it feel like they are the Okada riders make it feel as if they are the victims. That is what they do. And I also heard from a friend who entered one Okada, and the Okada wanted to collect money from a car and pretended as if it was a car that hit him. So I've heard different kind of stories, and nobody is saying anything. Everybody is just keeping quiet. Everybody is scared to talk. The whole thing in Nigeria, it's just so annoying. You're in your house, you're scared. I mean, last week there's this people who come to pack dirt, garbage and all that. They call them dustbin and all that. We just saw this one in the compound. We don't know where he came from. We kept asking him, who asked you to come and pack dirt? He couldn't say anything. Is that bad? Is that bad? And it was obvious that he came to steal, but we just had to let him go. By the time we opened the gates, we saw some 2 Okada riders outside waiting for him. Same as last year, February, I was robbed with my mother in the front of my gate by Okada riders. They were holding long knives. They collected our phones and our purse right in front of our gates. Everywhere is just so unsecure, and nobody is even saying anything. Nobody is saying anything. The level of injustice is too much. People are losing their lives every day. I hope this helps. If you are in Lugbe, Abuja, Nigeria, be careful how you drive, because those Okada riders, they will just plan anything for you to make sure that they earn money from you. Well, that will be all for today. Thank you so much for watching Happenings with Delicious Lola. Until I come your way next time, please stay tuned. I'm on Instagram at delicious_Lola. I'm also on TikTok at Delicious Lola. Do have a nice day. Bye.